So I think when it comes to the upcoming Power Rangers reboot, everybody is still talking about the whole female Red Ranger thing and an original villain, the Green Ranger's name change. So last week I covered some very personal icks about having another female Red Ranger in the reboot, because now I feel like you're just replacing the male Red Rangers that came before them. Like, I get it, you know, there are not that many female Red Rangers in the show. Jen wasn't the Red Ranger. She was Time Force Pink, which was, she was leader before she was leader before West came into the picture and kind of took over as a leader, but still had some issues and growing as a leader as a whole. But then you got the White Alien Ranger that was the leader, but at the same time, we don't really necessarily need that in the upcoming reboot. So let's just get that out of the way and just focus on what everybody is really talking about in the reboot, and that is the original villain and the Green Ranger's name change. So there's a reason why everybody is talking about this whole rumors about an all original villain for the upcoming project. It's not Rita and it's not Lorze either. It's going to be all original and all new. Now, to me, I'm okay with the new original villain as long as they give it backstory. That's really all that matters to me, because in the past, we really had villains from the TV show that didn't really have a backstory, because backstories are really important in terms of making a TV show, comics, animated movies, and TV shows and all of that. You gotta have a backstory if you want to care about the character. So for me, when it comes to this all original villain, I think what you can do is make sure he or she makes a lot of sense, because in Mighty Morphin, the villains were just there. It didn't really make sense because it was adapted from the Super Sentai. But I think from the Boom Studio comics, they actually got it right when it comes to the history of Zordon and Rita and the old Morphin Masters, and with the Shattered Grid and the Beyond a Grid and the Necessary Evil arcs and all of that. Even in the Darkest Hour, Boom Studio Comics got all of that right in terms of giving us the backstories of the history of Zordon and Rita and them. But in that case, when it comes to the original villain, the only hope I have is how good he or she looks in the project. The last thing you want to do is put out a disappointing product, because if it doesn't look the part, then you're gonna have some harsh criticisms from fans that was really excited about this project, and you give us something that looks like a complete opposite, right? So let's just say that the original villain ends up looking like this, for example. You see the wings, you see the helmet, but if you give it a little bit of a menacing look, I think it'll be the Ranger's biggest threat. But you can't have a villain without his or her crew, much like how the original show is. So enough about the villains part. Let's talk about the Green Ranger. Now, I was watching Ping Pong Flix' video earlier about his so-called sources that he got about the possible name change of him not being named Tommy is going to be named Jason to honor Jason David Frank. I am not the biggest fan of this idea anyway, because I feel like if you're going to honor the actor, at least you could do is just not name him after a dead person, because that shit is pretty stupid to say the least, and I am not the biggest fan of that idea whatsoever. But in all honesty, man, I just felt like you should have just named him Tommy. in a way to honor Jason David Frank as a whole. But to name him after Jason, his real name, is kind of a red flag to me. The same reason why people are gunning the idea of having a female Red Ranger for the reboot. Because let's just face it, the truth is certain female leaders are not really good ones. I mean, Amelia and Cosmic Fury already proved that she is a good leader, but that doesn't mean that we can actually get it in the reboot. So I'm still standing by on what I said. So all of this is just rumor still. And until we hear it from the horse's mouth, and I'm gonna continue to say that 100 times until my voice is heard, it's not true. It's still a rumor at the end of the day. So those are just my personal thoughts. I would like to know, what are your thoughts on this whole rumors? I know some of you believe this like hell. I don't. So what are your thoughts on this? Chime in the chat, and I'm gonna catch y'all on my next one. Y'all take care.